Urzael, to find him and bring him back to the high heavens. Urzael, accompanied by the sect of maidens who were Malthael's closest followers, set out to find their absent master. They never returned.
Out of room.
Sadly out of room. And of course they didn't return. They sided with him.
These serpentine demons are Belial's favored servants, and he has granted them some of his skill in cunning and illusion. Deceivers will cloak themselves in the familiar forms of their enemies' companions and friends, waiting to strike when the moment is opportune. It is only then that their true forms are revealed.
Please take me.
To be honest, all you ever saw of that transformation thing was them pretending to be the city guards. They never actually ever transformed into any, you know, one of our companions or anything. No, sorry. While those things are better in most categories, I can't justify getting rid of this set. It's quite useful. I'll get rid of this set once I get a adequate replacement for it. And grab these. Also polar kicks. Alright. Next one. It's really nice to listen to these. And to be honest, part of me almost wishes I could record while listening to a podcast or something. Just have something else going on. I could just go listen to that. This is my best compromise.
Demon troopers form them.
I do feel really bad about this, but at the same time, I do kind of like listening to the lore of the different things. It's to compensate for the fact that I'm not getting anything new here.
Demon troopers form the meat of the armies of hell. As their masters use them roughly, sending them into the vanguard for most battles. For their part, the troopers are easily excited by opportunities to exhibit their great talent for violence. In fact, the troopers frequently attack each other when they are left idle.
They're not very smart.
I had long hoped that the demonic Hellbearer was a fiction, a nightmare from the troubled minds of my ancestors. Just imagine. A demon taller than a castle tower who can retch up endless minions from the depths of the hells. Surely our people are doomed if such an abomination exists.
To be honest, I think Deckard could rest happy knowing that the Nephilim are returning, and, you know, Drom is there at the, you know, at the front of them. Well, it's just he's like, you know, if the Hellbearers are real, we're fucked. And, you know, they're not but, you know, children, you know, compared to what this guy can do. I feel so much more powerful in this game than I do, say, in, you know, Path of Exile. Though I really do think that's because of misbuilding, why I built this character better. Maybe it's because there's less options here. I had less room to fuck up. Won't be funny. Yes.
Asmodan created the demonic Hellflyers after he nearly lost to Tyrael in battle thousands of years ago. The angels made glorious use of their great luminescent wings to outmaneuver the demon host and assail its commander. Frustrated by his near defeat, Asmodan began breeding winged demons capable of tearing the angels asunder.
Wonder how he went about that.
One usually hears demonic tremors before seeing them. These behemoths move slowly and heavily, pounding the earth with their massive fists. Many a siege has been broken by the tremors' battering strikes, and many more enemies of the demons have been felled by their wrath. I pray that our world will never see them again.
How many times has the world seen them, to be honest? I have no idea.
To those who doubt my achievements in research, I present my findings on the Dune Dervish. It took me many years to find the truth of these strange, deadly figures. But my sources indicate that they are the cursed remains of mages who summoned a demon far beyond their power to control. The Dune Thresher is an elusive being with a tremendous capacity for bloodshed. It lurks beneath the sands, rising up to seize prey in its jaws and rend the body until it is but sinew and gore. I once saw a Thresher in the flesh, and it rather disagreed with my constitution.
Yeah, I can see why.
Not all dangerous demons are large and imposing. The dust imps are little more than children in size, but they possess the cunning and bloodlust of far larger creatures. They take cover in the shadows, emerging only when viable prey wanders too close. Then they ambush, leaving little more than bones behind them.
Nasty. This is why you shouldn't have kids, folks.
The electric eels are insidious pests that have taken root in the oases surrounding Chaldeum. Known for their stinging strikes, these creatures are particularly dangerous when they attack in large numbers.
Damn.
It is said that raw eel has become a delicacy among Chaldeum's elite, but I assure you these rumors are baseless.
Well, I think I can trust him on that. Not and to do with Hell's
I have seen on Sanctuary. They bear a resemblance to lesser demons, but the souls of demons are always reborn in the Hells. I suspect the phantasms may be the remnants of some early Nephilim, those born more demon than angel.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't remember that at all. Maybe I never heard it. I probably did.
The enslaved nightmares stand as testament that there will never be peace between men and demons. Sorcerers who attempt to master the dark arts and summon demons with their black spells are all damned to become skeletal nightmares, bound to the very power they tried to bend to their will.
Literally all of them. Yeah. Again, it goes back to what the other guy said. Like, we could have demons for mounts.
His sages of wisdom occasionally reached an exceptional level of knowledge that granted them the title of Exarch. These esteemed followers would guard the Chalice of Wisdom when Malthael was away, and they were the last to leave after their master disappeared from the high heavens.
Interesting.
These monsters were once the most notorious and reviled criminals in Westmarch, drawn up from the deepest, darkest cells of the city's prisons. Each was worse than the last. Heartless murderers who had butchered countless men, women, and children. In death, Malthael birthed them in forms that matched their twisted, callous souls, creating perfect instruments of slaughter. The executioners have earned their name.
You know when things always list to the, like, oh, they've killed women and children and leave out men? I always get the image that the band of murderers is just telling the men, like, you do your thing, we'll do our thing. Peace, brother. And just going about their thing, and they never actually harm the guy. Because it's the nicer of the two scenarios. You know? Either that or they killed men, but they weren't important enough to actually acknowledge. Sorry, it's just got a bone to pick about that, because it's just so dickish, you know? Thankfully, you don't really hear that much anymore. Well, I don't think anyone uses the phrasing anymore, but... Remember those girls that got kidnapped a while back from school? apparently that happened to boys as well, but there's no big campaign over it from what I hear. Again, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. But what I hear is there wasn't much hubbub over it. Similarly, boys were butchered in the most barbaric of ways, and apparently wasn't much talk of it. But personally, I hope what I was hearing is wrong, and none of that actually happened. But yeah. That's depressing. I'm actually really enjoying listening to this. I don't end up having much to comment on there, within these journal entries, but they are very nice to hear. I just wish I could have them on a playlist.
All know the reputation of the exorcists of Westmarch, those spiritual warriors specialized in removing demonic possession. By custom, they arrive in darkness, clad in cloaks as black as the night that conjured them. They work in secret, extracting the demons that dwell within their subjects. Now, Malthael has turned them, and they roam the city in their inhuman forms, stripping the souls from all they encounter.
That sucks. But I would like to know more about the exorcists. Were they actually good at what they were doing, or were they just beating up people, with dementia? I kind of doubt that's the case, but I kind of want more. I want to know more about them, basically.
It seems that the Fallen are indeed creatures of demonic origin. The old heraldic tale claims they were once powerful servants of the mythical Asmodan. They purportedly aided him in his battle against the prime evils, and Diablo later punished them by twisting them into the small, stupid forms they now possess.
How does this guy have the access to heraldic tales? Who is this guy? To be honest, if the heraldic tales say it, you can probably pretty much take it as fact. From what I've seen of it, it seems pretty, they know what they're talking about. Certainly you can hope they're wrong, but they ain't.
The fallen lunatics are the most unstable of their kind, causing them to overproduce highly combustible fluids in their abdomens. I believe this imbalance must be inevitably fatal, leading the lunatics to puncture their stomachs and release their explosive bile in a terrible display when enemies come too near.
To be honest, they're probably the most unstable due to having these combustible fluids. Or... he believes this imbalance must be inevitably fatal, leading them to puncture their stomachs and be suicide bombers. Oh, that is probably an unstable thing, yeah, but they're probably made to be suicide bombers, rather than else, if you get me. I just think his conclusion's a bit off. Well, at least that's how I read it anyway. He has been wrong before. It's not like it's cane tongue that's the thing, Actually, I wonder, is he accurate in this case, or is he off? Because now I feel like an ass. Whatever.
Though the champions are larger, and the lunatics more devastating, it is the shaman priests who lead the fallen. These shrunken, unintimidating demons can easily kill an enemy with their firebolts, but it is their ability to resurrect their imp allies that allows them to command such high respect from their peers.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, basically I was just figuring they're probably unstable due to producing this, and they're probably not just, figuring I'm going to die anyway, let's go out in a blaze of glory. They're probably just, let's kill. I don't know, the Fallen don't seem that intelligent to think like that, you know?
I have always wondered how much Adria relied on Diablo's power instead of her own. Based on her blood golems, her magic is very strong. These flesh gorges are raised from earth, stone, and demon blood, and they are driven to feast on humans so they may resemble us more closely. Let's hope they don't succeed.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Adria birthed these golems from the blood marsh. Their bodies were formed from the water and earth of the marsh itself, while the venom of the marsh creatures gave them life. Their very skin seems to burst with the poison of this land.
That is disgusting.
The flesh shaman was created from the blood of the witch Adria.
Oh.
Because of that, the shaman is able to use magic as she does, channeling the power of blood and fire. Luckily, Adria only has so much blood to shed, and not for much longer.
Indeed. She's died how many times now? Like 4?
Garm is the largest of Asmodan's sin lieutenants, and he possesses no less than 4 mouths. Though his voracious appetite is certainly his greatest weapon, his bile and, well, other noxious excretions are equally lethal. When last seen in battle, the Lord of Gluttony swallowed half a dozen angels whole, spears and all.
Poor angels. That's not a nice way to go. Wonder how conscious they were for it all. Hopefully the angelic hordes have nothing against suicide in those cases. Oof. Nice.
The tragedies in these lands have left many restless spirits in their wake, and they demand retribution. These spirits will take out their vengeance on any unsuspecting individual who may pass, for they believe that the blood of the living will yet restore the lives that were ripped away from them. Ghouls are stronger than most risen dead, but they gain their fortitude through horrific means, feasting upon human corpses. These creatures are least dangerous while eating, but do not disturb them, or it shall be your limbs between their teeth.
Yeah.
The grotesques may seem slow and senseless, but they hide many dangers within their hideously malformed bodies. A set of spikes lurks beneath the monster's flesh, and foul parasites nest within them. It is said that these horrors themselves are constructed by a greater evil, a darkness that I cannot even fathom.
Who? Like, he knows of Diablo, he knows Lords of Hell, and he knows of probably the minor Lords of Hell, the lesser evils. Then who the fuck makes the grotesques? The darkness? Like, one greater than Diablo? Well, like the prime evils? Well, not the prime evil, but the Lords of Hell? Like, who? That feels like a plot they never finished.
The bestial Hellions are demons that can be summoned from the burning hells with the aid of foul sorcery. They are given to chasing down their foes and attacking them with savage fangs. This usually allows some spare time for their masters to craft their dark spell work and finish off the victim.
Sadly not a new one.
Long ago, the heralds of pestilence were lesser demons who rebelled against Asmodan. The Lord of Sin vanquished them easily, but instead of slaying them, he granted each one a long arm, infested with a poison that could kill anything but Asmodan himself. The heralds have been plague-riddled menaces ever since.
And a poison that can kill anything except Asmodan and Rom here, apparently. Interesting. you.
Many of the oldest noble houses in Westmarch kept massive hunting dogs on their grounds. Though docile enough in life, they've become terrors in the hands of the Reapers. Now these beasts lead the packs of smaller dogs as they chase down the citizens of Westmarch. I don't even want to record what they do to the corpses.
Yeah. To be honest, for the sake of obsessive completeness, that'll probably be good to know, but at the same time I can understand it. I want to listen.
Roderick's scrolls describe hulking phase beasts as sin made flesh. Asmodan granted them great power, allowing the beasts to shift in and out of sight at will. It is believed that the Lord of Sin only looses the phase beasts against uncommonly clever enemies who cannot be bested with tooth and claw.
Just them saying they can shift in and out of sight at will. Good thing I'm Drom. Or Philip, take your pick.
The smell of wild Khazra is terrifying, but at least they are firmly in the world of flesh and blood creatures. The ice Khazra lack any scent at all, and this makes them seem not of this world.
It is actually really nice to be listening to all these, just one after the other.
Anything could make me more miserable than I already was, being dragged from camp to camp by ignorant cultists. And then these ice porcupines began to show up in the night to harass me with their ice quills. Unfortunately, being caged, I could not beat them off with my shoe.
Demons have been known to devour their own young when no other nourishment is available. Their offspring, the imps, sometimes manage to flee and band together with other demon spawn. They rove in vicious packs, ready to descend upon the unwary traveler and rip his body to shreds with their tiny needle-sharp teeth.
Lovely.
Some time ago, I revealed that the Khazra, or goatmen, were originally humans until the Vizieri corrupted them. For many years, these creatures were simple and lethargic. These days have ended. Khazra attacks are widely reported, and the number of fatalities is higher than anything in my records.
Damn. Though I question his records. You know, he's been wrong on a few occasions.
Long ago, 5 clans of the Umbaru tribe left the Teganze and ventured north. After their transformation into Khazra, only a few elders were still able to use magic, and they passed it down to their cleverest children. These are the Khazra shaman, and they rank among the most dangerous of their race. The Lakuni, or Panther Men as they are sometimes called, have inhabited the desert wastes east of Chaldeum for thousands of years. The large males are the tribe's leaders and protectors, while the agile females are expert hunters. Mostly they are primitive and reclusive creatures, although they will attack if cornered or hungry. Searching for the maggot brood has been quite an adventure. I first observed the corpse of one near the road to Westmarch, where it raised such a stench that my new assistant vomited twice on my favorite traveling cloak. The stains came out eventually, but I was sorely vexed.
Enjoyed that.
To be honest, I can't blame the person. Maggot broods are disgusting, live or dead.
The Mallet Lords are brutal overseers, second only to the...
They're probably brutal to compensate for the name.
The Mallet Lords are brutal overseers, second only to the 7 evils themselves. The Mallet demons rule the seething outer reaches of the hells that surround the central realms, and have long refused to join any of the lesser evils' armies. Surely the destruction would be unthinkable if such a thing ever came to pass.
They rule the seething outer reaches of hell that surround the central realms, and have long refused to join any of the lesser evil's armies. So, but have they ever A brutal overseer second only to the 7 evils themselves. And there's 4 greater evils, 3 lesser? Or is there 7 greater evils? I thought there was only I thought there was only 4 greater evils, and then 3 lesser. Huh. Well, whatever. So they've never joined any lesser armies of the lesser evils. I presume they've joined armies of the greater evils. But then again, the destruction would have been unthinkable if that happened too, you know. So I'm just kind of puzzled over that. Whatever. So yeah, basically I'm not sure if they've ever joined the greater armies of the greater evils. How many exactly are there of lesser evils? Because I thought it was more than 3. You know, who are those 7 evils they're talking about? And you know, that kind of thing. Regardless, let's keep on keeping on. Those are questions that I kind of doubt I'll ever get answers to. Although it would be nice if I did. If anyone knows the answers, like it's in a lore novel or something, or there's a Diablo chronicle, like they have for WoW, please let me know.
Mysterious beasts have been sighted in the lands bordering Skarsglen. Some say they are part man and part wolf, but I have not been able to confirm it with my own eyes. Whatever their origin, the destruction they leave in their wake suggests that we are right to fear the word.
Annoying. I was hoping it was a new one.
I have seen many warriors in my day, but only a scant few of them could face the might of an oppressor. This monster towers over the tallest barbarians and wields weapons crafted from hell-forged steel. They were last seen with Baal during his resurgence, and left legions of dead men in their wake.
Yeah, I was just making a joke there. It'll be a bloody nuisance to actually try and explain it. Bloody nuisance. If you really want me to, I will in the comments, but bloody nuisance. Basically I just made a political joke there. That's all. I couldn't help myself. I just grabbed that on principle. Let's keep going this way. Next one. I feel like I should just explain it here and be done with it, but at the same time I feel kind of awkward even bringing it up. Basically, listened to some nutters online, and they argue that if you're male and white, that you oppress other people by merely existing. That seems to be the implication from their speech. They've never outright used those words, but that seems to be the implication of it. Well, that you oppress others, but merely existing seems to be the implication of it. So yeah, because I'm not like, you know, I spend my days or nights more so recording YouTube videos. I don't really see how I'm impressing anyone, but I apparently am. So my mere existence must do it, you know. So yeah, that's where the joke was coming from. I know you shouldn't explain the joke, but there's no one gonna fucking get that. You might have thought like I'm the one who can stand up to the oppressors. I'm burly. You might have thought I was going that way, but that wasn't really a joke. So anyway, what's the Lord of Despair? What the fuck did I kill you?
Pandemonium is a harsh realm, and its inhabitants must be resourceful to survive. But none more so than the scavengers, who armor themselves in the very rocks beneath their feet. They may appear as mighty giants to their foes, but a few hard strikes will reveal that their true form is much smaller.
Dear reader, I am Abd al-Hazir, adventurer, scholar, and researcher. I share my knowledge of this incredible world and its creatures through my insightful missives, often at grave risk to myself. Why, I was recently in Kanduras, where my tents were ransacked by vicious quill fiends. I was able to beat them up with a shoe, but a less bold man would have fared far worse.
He bet off quill fiends with his shoe. He likes to beat things up with his shoe, it seems. I'm choosing to believe that's a euphemism for an actual fucking weapon.
In the beginning, Rakanoth served Andariel, the Maiden of Anguish, with efficient brutality, for his touch may open up many painful wounds. He was also the warden of Iswal during many long years that the angels suffered in Rakanoth's own plains of despair. But he has quit his realm unexpectedly in recent times.
And then he gets killed, well, less murdered, more just slaughtered by us.
This creature is the most unsettling of all the natural denizens of Sanctuary. The male of the species carries the eggs, which the female deposits on his back. In their larval state, they burrow into the male's back, creating visible protrusions.
My back hurts.
They eat their way out of these protrusions when the host is attacked.
Yeah, that feels uncomfortable even just hearing about.
As Malthael has imbued them with the ability to sense the living, Revenant archers do not rely on their vision to find their targets. There is no place safe from their sightless gaze. They will find you through stone,
I can't carry
wood,
anymore.
even the ground itself. And once they have their quarry, they do not miss.
Thankfully, they are also, you know, really fucking easy to beat down. So, they may not miss once they have their quarry. You know, an axe to the face will sort them right out. Or a weird sword in this case. Part of me feels maybe I should just sell these, but eh. You know, it's tempting to transmog my stuff into this, you know? But maybe not. I like this shield as it is. Grab you and you. Okay, you know what? I'll talk for a bit. Because I feel honestly kind of bad just leaving this play. Actually, I'll let them play, but I'll try and comment more if there's something I can find.
The Revenant Shield Guards were once the personal guard of King Justinian IV. Appointed to the position for bravery and skill at arms, they accompanied the king at all times, resplendent in their ornate armor, wrought by the finest craftsmen in Westmarch. But most spectacular were their shields, which they unerringly employed in the protection of their king.
I remember seeing some lovely art before. It was like some knight sheltering some princess as they walked through the streets, and the art was fantastic. I wish I knew who did it or the name of the piece. I'd love to share it with you, but it looks beautiful.
I watched in horror as the guard was struck by the maiden's magic. I heard the sound of his screams until his flesh had dissolved to nothing, and only his armor-clad skeleton remained, his jaw unhinged. Blue mist swirled around his bones, coalescing into new flesh. When at last I cut him down, the phantasmal flesh exploded, leaving only a pile of armor behind.
I know you'd already heard that one earlier, but I figured may as well put it on again, for the sake of completion.
I will never forget the first time I saw these horrors shambling out of the misty woods. Our loved ones, buried long ago, rose from their graves and began to attack the living. However, the risen dead were only the beginning.
The rockworm may very well be the ugliest creature ever to blight the world with its presence. Bereft of any features aside from its massive jaws, the rockworm appears to be a giant invertebrate. I should like to study it further, but its burrowing tendencies make it extraordinarily difficult to track.
Yeah, you probably want to kill it. And, you know, dissect it, cut it up. Well, you wouldn't really find much more about its tendencies that way. At least then you'd actually be able to get a damn look at the thing.
During the Mage Clan Wars, the Viserai summoned giant demons to guard their estates. After years of patrolling the desert sands, the demons' hides became thick as stone and caked with grit. In the end, they have outlived their masters. Now, only the glowing runes on their skulls belie their true origins.
Palanai. Huh. I didn't think you used it in that manner. Huh. So it's surprising the demons were actually able to stay controlled for that long, you know? Like I was, you know, figured they would have broken free or whatever. I guess the sorcerers in those cases actually managed to do a good job. And the sand wasp, something we've seen in these sets. And though, to be honest, that goes for most of the things we've heard so far.
I would rather not discuss the sand wasp. These overgrown insects wouldn't be notable whatsoever if not for their exceptionally poisonous stings, which, alas, killed my young apprentice. I thought he would be more careful when I sent him to retrieve a sample from the hive, but his parents did not understand my perspective.
Yeah, somehow I don't think they really would, you know? Scarabs.
I had half a mind to explore the ancient ruins outside Westmarch, and then I realized they were crawling with dreadful scarabs. Of course, these creatures do not frighten me, but they make my research much too time-consuming, and I am widely known for my efficiency. Am I not?
Is he? Because... Bloody hell if I know.
Not all of the hazards of Pandemonium lie above ground. The tunnelers roam just beneath the surface, breaking through to snatch prey in their enormous jaws. And my heroic friends ask why I wish to stay inside the fortress.
Yeah, in Diablo 2, you actually get to go to Pandemonium, and I don't think it's actually as much as dangerous as it is here in Diablo 3. Because Pandemonium was, I think, in the hands of the angelic forces. In Diablo 2. So, yeah. It keeps switching back side to, you know, from side to side over the eons. Which is why it doesn't have, like, you know, look distinctly angel or demon. It's ends up its own weird style. So, yeah. Again, like I said before, I'll be doing Diablo 1, 2, and Lord Destruction at some stage. And I might do Hellfire at some stage. Hellfire does have its own story, and Diablo does make a return in it, but it's not really canon. It's not canon as far as I know, so it wouldn't really groove with the actual canon. But yeah. I wouldn't mind doing, you know, another little bit of it. Well, sorry, not a little bit of it, but I wouldn't mind doing a, how would you say it? I wouldn't mind doing it regardless of its canonity. I would... It's an extra, like, 6 levels, I think, to the game. I might do it, I may not. Excuse me. Sorry, my mind is frazzled right now. But yeah, I might do it. It does have its own story, and while it doesn't really agree with the canon,